Now we're going to look at the importance of researching the company. Now, this could be in different situations. First of all, you could be already within the company and maybe you're applying for another job that's in a different department or even within the same department. In this case, you're going to have much easier access to the information about what the job entails. However, if you are outside of the company, a different situation. First of all, if you don't yet know what company you want to apply for, or apply for what job in a particular company, then we recommend you go through all of the companies that you would like to work for and look at the values, and you'll have to do your research from zero. Once you have identified the company that you want to apply for or apply to, then what you need to do is to begin to access from out to in, which means researching everything you can find out about the company. Now, clearly, at the beginning stage, this may be more limited information just for your cover letter or CV, but eventually you will need to really know inside information about the company and the industry when you get to the interview round. So, if you need to know about the company in detail, then you need to do your homework. According to LinkedIn's official blog site, one of the biggest mistakes that applicants make is that they are uninformed when they apply for jobs. According to blog.linkedin.com, companies today want employees who can hit the ground running, and that means knowing as much as possible about what the company does, who its competitors are, and what's happening in its overall industry. LiveCareer.com has actually indicated that you should spend at least 1 hour researching each company that you apply for. That's right, each company. It's a lot of research. You almost begin to feel a little bit like a private investigator. Actually, this is a good point. A little bit of an English explanation for you. The difference between investigating and researching. We usually investigate if we're a detective. You research if you're a scientist or if you need to find out about the company that you want to get the job with. So, where can you get information about the company? Well, most of this could be obvious to you, but let's go ahead and make sure that we don't leave anything out. Here are the following areas that you can get your research from. The job post and company website, of course. Inside contacts. Nobody can give you information like somebody on the inside. Media references to the company, of course. These can include magazines, newspapers, journals, and other websites. Google is a wonderful tool, but you may need to dig a little bit deeper. And, of course, you can study the industry, knowing about the different type of industry trends and to know what's happening, where things are going up and down. This will give you the bigger picture. And of course, included in the area of studying with the company and the industry, you need to know about the successes. Speaking of successes, this is a good opportunity for you to add in some vocabulary. As you study success, try to expand your vocabulary with words such as accomplishments, milestones, benchmarks, innovations, recognition, profits, awards, and victories. Hopefully, you'll be able to use some of these new words as you explain what the company does or what you can do for the new company. And if we talk about successes, we should probably talk about failures. Here's some more vocabulary for you. How about, instead of failures, you can talk about defeats, letdowns, mistakes, losses, misfortunes, downturns, limitations, and setbacks. So by studying the industry, of course we're talking about looking at the competition, who the competitors are, studying the trends, and of course looking at challenges and opportunities for the company to succeed in the future. And the last area that you can get information about the company is of course from the social networks, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and many others. And here you can get a little bit more insight as to how people are talking about the particular company. Once you know about the company, the next challenge is for you to find out who in the company will decide your future. That's right, you need to know who in the company makes the hiring decisions. Now, being that if you're on the outside of the company and you have to find out who that person is, it might take you a few steps to get there. But the important thing is you need to make the effort to get that inside contact. Remember, in these situations, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So, clearly, if you know somebody already in the company, that's key. If you don't, social networks like LinkedIn can usually help you. They usually give you the contact person for the job. If they don't, of course, work your networks and find out who can possibly get you in touch with that person who is going to make the final decisions. In the end, the closer you are, the better you are. Next, don't forget that while you're doing your research, it's really important for you to make a list of questions that you have about the company, about the position, about the industry, showing your insight into your research that you've done. This, in the end, when you eventually make it to the interview session, you'll have some good quality questions that you can ask that will show the employer that you've done your homework. For example, you might ask this question. From what I know and what I've learned about the company, I see that the company has a priority of maintaining a spirit of innovation. How often do you offer continued education and professional skills training to help with this? Or maybe another question. Based on the company performance over the last 4 quarters, I've noticed that there has been significant growth. What changes in the working relationships of the employees does the company recognize that contributed to this? Again, if you do the extra research and information, it's going to show you've done your homework. You have extra insight into the position in the company, and you're guaranteed to impress the recruiter who has an opportunity to ask you some questions. In LinkedIn, this is actually made a little bit easier for you in the following ways. There's a couple special pages that you can go to get extra information about the companies. For example, in the products and services page, you can see there usually some sheets that are provided on the company's overall structure and offerings. And on the company page, here, there's usually information and news that the company is posting, which can give you some additional ideas, specific questions, perhaps that you can ask once you have an opportunity in the interview session. Again, your ability to ask thoughtful, relevant questions will help you shine and stand out from the rest of the crowd. The last and final thing that I can comment on is, of course, your research about the company will give you insight for the final decision-making phase that you have. And that is, of course, whether or not you want to accept the job or not, should it be offered to you. And if it is offered to you, then your insight, your research, of course, is going to give you a nice contrast where you are providing your knowledge with your new view on the way that things are run in the company, and that new vision and new perspective is what the company is looking for. Fresh eyes with a new spirit.